Hello, it's Prince Easy, and well, let's get to it, right? So last time we talked extensively about Apollyon and basically the plan that is even written in the scripture, right? The plan of the devil using the Gentiles to basically completely annihilate the 12 tribes of Israel. And that is the conspiracy at foot, and by any means necessary. It might not be even by war, it can be by hybridization, basically mixing the bloodlines to an extent that the pure black people are no longer, okay, while they by tradition and by principle, they are protecting their bloodlines, they are protecting their tribes, okay. If you're an African and you're trying to marry any other nation on this earth outside of Africa, eh, it's gonna be a big problem, for the woman especially, okay, because there's this spiritual warfare going on, okay, and it manifests itself in many ways, right? Oppression of the black man, slavery, eh? Economic assassinations, and all of this. Okay, and we went into detail about those things, right? And now the work continues, right? The war continues and progresses. Okay, and we're gonna show each other how to maneuver this uh, this war, okay, and trust me, it's a war, and it's a very serious war, very serious, okay, and everything that I choose to talk about has a meaning, okay, has a meaning. So we are gonna touch a little bit on this, right, and we are gonna see. Actually, I said in the last video, I don't remember if I pointed it out, but actually there is a form of photography that enables you to see the two seeds, yeah, the sun and the moon, the two seeds inside the earth, by representation of magnetic field, okay. That has significance within itself. Later on we're gonna talk about it, okay, in detail, right, but slowly, yeah. So we're gonna talk from a perspective of a person shooting up in the sky whilst within the egg, and the other photography you're gonna see is when the person is in the middle of the two eggs and looking at them, right? So yeah, we're gonna see it down the line. I shall point it out, right? These pictures are mixed up, so I can't really arrange them in any way or fashion. So as usual, the most effective tool of propaganda or psychological warfare is the media, right? And I've been trying to tell people, especially Tanzanians and even Kenyans, right? Especially the Kenyans, yeah? You are being used as their tool. You are being used as their tool. Okay, you need spiritual discernment to even determine what is what. Okay, now if you look at this particular piece here, you will understand what I'm talking about, right? They directly praise Ruto and what he did, walking in the streets with the boots, and they had footage and everything. Do you know what they said about Tanzania? They said the government literally did not do anything except give out a statement or a warning like that, Now, if people who are outside and not within this country, they cannot really understand, okay? But I know the basis of this psyops is language and the usage of language, you know. One of the reasons that a country like Kenya is more vulnerable to psychological warfare and even overtaking is because they use English. Okay, now if you look at this piece here, they are completely biased and low-key attacking. And these perspectives are even held in the minds of people who are not really aware, you know. They don't watch people like Miladi Ayo, or they don't have Jamii forums, and trust me, Jamii forums, you are targeted just like TBC. Okay, they want to have you on their side. Okay, you might not understand now what I'm saying, but trust me, you are a powerful thing. Okay, you are a powerful tool, and you have to always keep in mind whatever opinion you have. Always keep in mind that this land here is yours. It's your pride. Okay, it's your pride. Now you can do whatever you want with that statement, but that's just the truth. Okay, that's just the truth. Okay, and everything that I touch, they have to wiggle their way into it, to pollute it, to destroy it, to veer it away from being a perfect weapon for the children of God. You know, that's what is at stake here. People's souls, not political opinions. I could care less. Right? So, like I've said in the last video that we talked about, you know, there are videos out there, right? They have suggestions of countries like us, you know, countries like ours, you know. We are in the midst of this because we have the most cows. We have a lot in Africa compared to other nations. We have a lot of cows, we have a lot of goats, we have a lot of sheep, a lot of chicken. Okay, now the biggest source of protein is the cow. Okay, the most efficient anyway, right? And it has become like a symbol of farming. Cow, you know, a cow is a symbol of farming, literally, because of all of the uses in our past, right? We use them to plow, we feed them grass quite cheap and all of this. And now they have made the cow the target. Okay, and trust me, there's talks out there of them even suggesting that we euthanize, literally, euthanize. Okay, if they have the mentality of euthanize, so of course they are not going to help you progress in that particular aspect that does not help their cause or whatnot. You know, I'm glad that people are eventually waking up and actually taking action, you know. But it has to be more aggressive. Okay, it has to be more aggressive, right? So it's a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy. Yeah, and they don't talk about how this is gonna affect the pricing of things. You know, because they know they are already making fake meat. What do you think? How are they going to sell the fake meat? Do you think they have to get rid of the biggest source of meat? Yeah, they have to get rid of the biggest source of meat. Yeah, if you compare the amount of meat in a goat or a sheep in relation to a cow, it's not even comparable. It's not even comparable. Okay, and that is on the industrial level. Okay, but here in Africa, it's a whole different ballgame here, right? We eat the intestines, the brain, everything, the feet. We make soup out of that, right? So if you take the cow out of the equation, a lot of industries gonna have issues. Okay, it's gonna have issues, and I'm hearing now this issue of this industry that was recently opened, and now the guy is saying that I have to close down the industry because I'm not receiving enough milk, because somehow he is in disagreement with brokers of milk. I have an issue with brokers. They only serve a purpose until they don't. They can become a hindrance in the supply chain, definitely. So something needs to be done. They have too much freedom. Okay? Then the midst of even the selling of land and land conflicts, they're the problem. They are the brokers, yeah. They are the people. They are the man in the middle between the one who has and wants to sell and the person that is looking to buy. So take this very serious. Milk, it needs to be available, not because of financial reasons or what. It just needs to be available as food, full stop. No any other reasons that need to be there to support. Yeah, we need the milk, we need the meat, we need the cow. Whatever these people keep talking about, methane, 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 methane. How do you even measure the volume of methane on Earth? How do you even do that? But they can say, we have satellites here, they can see the methane and this and that. And they're liars. That's what they do. They lie. So you shouldn't expect anything else. So I need you to weigh now, right? Is the cow a hindrance to a global, I don't know, like the words they use, a global. Yeah, I have a lot of problem with that notion of global. There's no such thing as global. That is a spell they have cast upon you. Literally, when they say that global, and then they put another warm thing following that. You can say that word on YouTube, trust me. I've been here so long. I know how to play this game. Okay, sometimes I choose to play, sometimes I don't. Okay, they cannot take my will out of that, right? So it's all about the globe, the globe, the globe, the globe. People are worshipping this image, the globe, the globe. Sun rays are gonna come and burn the whole situation. And there is no other solutions or anything that can be done, except we need to euthanize half of the world cattle, and they have it on the paper and everything, and they have you signing it up there, and they're making pledges that we're going to give you this technology, we're going to give you that technology. And if you are a stupid and idiotic president, then you just you are there for a short time. You are there for only 5 years. You're just there to make your legacy, and then boom, you're gone. And you are quite sure of yourself, like, the continuation of this nation does not really depend upon my blunders, But the truth is, these blunders pile up, This administration does something idiotic, another 5 years, another idiot comes in, another 5 years, another idiotic decision is made. At the end of the day, because they have a continuation, okay? They don't have no 5 years. They don't care about no 5 years. The devil does not care for the change of presidency or democracy. He does not. Okay? He does not care about justice. The devil does not care about democracy. Does not care about human rights. Does not care about nothing. Okay? That's why the scripture regards them as a beast. Okay? You can reason with a beast. Reason is only reserved for higher beings, humans, angels, and things like that. Not animals or beasts. But these people are literally called beasts because they have a single purpose. They are literally the definition of, you have seen the Terminator movie, right? What do you want? I am here to kill this person. Okay, so you have a battery that lasts 300 years, and this person's lifespan is like 90 something years old, and you're telling me your entire purpose is to kill this person. So what? Are they going to invade you with, or what's the sense there? Because they're talking in symbols. Because it's literally their mission. They have a single purpose: to destroy humanity. Full stop. They don't care who they use until they acquire that purpose. They are like literally like a robot. They can't stop, they won't stop. Unless you people stop them. By stopping complying to their idiotic things. The consequences be damned. Because believe me, there are consequences. This is the war. Take one for the team. So we are trying to set a standard here. Okay? We're trying to set a standard. Because these people are sneaky. They are sneaky. This channel here was nothing. And then I started using it. Now they're using it to push their agenda. Same as Wion, Just to flex their muscle that, we can destroy the earth and you can do nothing to protect these people. And it's sad to see like people walking against me. It's amazing even. There's a spiritual warfare going within you, right? This is the type of warfare. The things that we talk about, then they come up. They have to. Again, we're back to Eve playing around with the snake. These are your daughters. And trust me, there are consequences to everything. And of course, they have to talk about sabotage operations, because that's the future. Because everybody now is finding out like, war is like expensive. Like really expensive. It's not like the Second World War or nothing. The inflation has just made it everything worse. So they have to make every country broke. And the only way they can make you broke is if you play and find yourself in their trap. I heard this debacle about TBL. They bought defective seeds. This is the type of things that we keep talking about over and over and over. Like, why don't we have seeds that we need for our soil in this country? Every plant that we need for cash or food or whatever, seeds needs to be produced here. Take a certain amount of money and give to the people that make seeds. It's plain and simple, but that's not happening. Or they are giving them just a joke of amount of money. Now look at the price that people are paying. People need to decide. They need to act quicker than now. Way quicker. Because they have been doing things slowly and meticulously for a long time. The damage is done, and we're trying to it's like a boat, a whole ship that has a hole below the waterline, and people are just moving around slowly, picking up equipment, having a chat, having a talk. You think the water is gonna wait for you? No, it's not. You're gonna drown. These people have already drowned. We have seen the farmers. I don't think the farmers' situation has stopped. It hasn't. About years, a year of farming farmers in the roads, protesting. So they have a food insecurity. coming in line, but they need to convince people like, yeah, we have plans, we are going to give this guy money, and he's going to buy up all the land all over the place, and he's going to have farms and a genetically modified food crops and cash crops, so we are going to be fine. It's their food. That's the reality. It is their food, and they may choose to give it to you or not, but it is technically their food. And now we see that even in these platforms, or what we call social media and whatnot, right? They say that there is freedom of expression, X and this and that, but it's a joke. It's a joke. It's a trap. They need you to say your opinions so as they can know where to suppress you or what agenda to work up. It's a perfect system that we keep feeding. It's a beast that we keep feeding, and it keeps growing and growing and growing, and it gets worse and worse, and then we are surprised like, what? It grew? It's worse now than it was? Are you serious? What? So this is gonna be bad for the West. Okay? Because this is a psyop. They always do this, right? I'm gonna show you another example. Somebody's gonna sabotage something. Just like when they said, the Houthis are gonna sabotage the cables, and the cables were sabotaged. It's not because they have foreknowledge or some spy equipment. No, it's just nonsense. If you believe that. Do you know how many billions of people are on Earth? It's an illusion. It's a lie. So, you see, for this lady here, she might not know, but I've been in a lot of battles because of this woman here. Now, I don't know what the future holds, but I can definitely tell you this. The enemy has an eye on you, just like I do. Okay? And I just want you to remember that there is such a thing as flying too high. That's advice number one. There is such a thing as flying too high, or taking on more than you can handle. So it's not about what chances or opportunities you are given, but rather about yourself and who you are really. So I need you to know to know yourself like really, and do not give me that I'm grown, I know my no. Know your weaknesses, know your flaws, know everything about yourself. And second, be of service. That will keep your ego in check. Everybody has an ego. And unless the ego is tamed, then it becomes a wild. It runs wild. It runs rampant. Okay? And that yields self-importance, which yields keeping a distance from the people you serve, because you don't want to feel no guilt of being irresponsible for what you are supposed to do. You don't want to face the people that you are responsible for. Type situation, right? We see this everywhere. The broke man who has a family rather not go home at all than go there and face them and feel humiliation. Okay, so that's just, there's a spiritual battle going on for you. For you. So watch your steps. Keep your head low. Right? Of course. They have no brakes. They can't stop, won't stop. They have this display, you know. Lagadia. What? The Guardian? Is it the translation of that word? La and lay. Like the French type? So these are the guardians, right? So it depends. Me and most people who believe that we are living in a spinning planet, we have a whole other perspective when we see this thing here. When I see, even today, I see a huge UFO, I don't react, like completely. I know there are no planets, there's no space. So nigga, you came from here. And you are bound by the rules of Earth. Even if I don't know them, but you're bound by those rules. So you're not some overlord or whatever. You're a creature. But if they come from space, that's a whole other ball game right there. Because space is chaotic. I'm even surprised even this planet has not been hit by a big ass asteroid. They have a simulation out there, right? That they say, what do you think Trump himself established the Space Command? Why do you think he did that? Because they are expecting a threat from space, and it's not ICBMs or whatever. It's an asteroid. Maybe it's a whole fleet of extraterrestrials coming to Earth to conquer or to do whatever, and we have to take action. So this is the precursor of it, right? Now this type of thing you can't really fact check because the people saw it, the passenger saw it. People took pictures and stuff like that. So it is very real, but where it's from, that's a whole other phenomenon, isn't it? That's why I've been covering my bases and telling you and repeating over and over. Do not believe that nonsense. Space does not exist. No in reality, no in the scriptures. Space does not exist. This situation here also, if you remember, some Russian guy came out. It was a couple of weeks back. He came out and say, he told Zelensky in the lines like, "You idiot! There are people around you who are trying to kill you," and now they're spinning this whole situation to blame the Russians. So Ukrainian officials arrested over Russian plot. Why don't you admit that they are traitors and add there? That they have seen your failures, perhaps, and all of your justification being nonsense. He's an actor. He literally acted in a movie as a president. It doesn't get any realer than that. And of course, I have also observed this channel also evolve. And now they're saying they have somehow discovered Plato's final resting place with a bionic eye. Isn't telescope, why does it have to be a bionic eye? Can you not have a telescope and magnify and put it in a 60-inch display so as you can read anything from that? Well, nah. In order to see this Plato resting place, you gotta have a bionic eye. Maybe Plato should be forgotten. What you gonna do with it anyway? It's scientism, It's their saint. This is what a bad joke look like. But this here is worse than what you think. It's worse. I don't know if you know this, but one of the most expensive zoo animal in terms of maintenance in the entire world, endangered or unendangered, is the black and white panda. you'll be amazed at how much money is spent on these creatures. But that is itself is like space. It's a way to hemorrhage money and siphon it to other causes that are more important to them. So I thought this was funny. I had to I had to put it up in there. Now, this is an image from within those one of those eggs, right? One of those eggs, those magnetic fields. They spin, and of course they make this signature here, right? That's within one egg. Okay, now I know most people have even come to question that, maybe there is more to this realm, meaning this enclosed firmament, that there's actually more to see. Now I don't know, but what I can tell you for sure is it might be a vast space, but what makes Earth important is the humans, right? So this is an image, and this is a type of photography. Okay, this is a type of photography where they install a camera on a tripod and have it staring up, and have it over a span of time take pictures in an interval, and then they composite these pictures to show you the movement of the stars following this magnetic field. Okay, so this one here, this is taken in the middle, right, from the middle perspective of that the magnetic field, right? So you see the two eggs. We see the two eggs, and this has effects all over. The whole field is like, if it was continuous, because it is always shifting. That's another thing that I've observed. Okay, they for lack of better terms, it's like after 12, the poles change, and then in the morning near 12 again, they flip again. They do like that every day. They flip back and forth. Now it might be influenced by the sun and the moon, I don't know, but it's a system, and it's there, and it's live, and I've experienced it. Okay, I don't want to tell and expose everything, but that's just the truth. So donkeys, that's why Christ chose a donkey while entering Jerusalem, because he knew he was going to be crucified. But why the donkey? The donkey has many significance. The donkey was given even the ability to speak. It's crazy, right? Right? So the ability of these animals to speak was taken from them. Or our ability to understand them, one or the other, but the end game is still the same, right? So these animals have a whole cross on top of their back, a whole cross. Okay, now where that cross, or where the horizontal and the parallel lines actually cross each other, it's gonna be a focus, focus of the enemy. Like I've said, the vagus nerve is one of them, but that's not the only thing. There's a larger conspiracy here, right? Now, pertaining to that electricity, we have this effect here, this effect, moving of electricity. Right, so this guy was hit by lightning, and lightning made those marks. Okay, those marks. And if you look at pictures taken high above, looking at Earth, that's exactly how the rivers and their tributaries look like, right? They look like that exactly, because they are behaving according to electric fields. Okay, they're not just random. Okay, even plants, yeah, we see the roots exhibiting this pattern here. The pattern that we have even seen lightning while the sky or the ionosphere is discharging, to avoid catastrophe, right? So the plants follow that same thing. You know, the nervous system is electrical. It has to behave and follow that system. Okay, and anything that tries to interfere with that system, that's where the problems come. It might be a blockage, it might be bad raw materials to make up this system, or anything like of sorts. Okay, or a foreign object, it can cause a problem. Okay, and they have a target. Okay, now this is from the movie Matrix, right? Now where they are plugging in that system is where, like, the motor, or your ability to do anything with your limbs and stuff come from. So they plug that over there, and that is the point where they used to basically move the quote unquote consciousness, but we know it's soul from body to body. This is when people will not be able to die, when you permanently put stuff and connect it to your brain. Yeah, because like I've said, the body reacts like the earth. Yeah, it's like a Russian doll. Everything is within everything. Okay, the creator proves himself by creation, right? If you see creation and you see the same patterns repeating over and over within everything, and everything within everything, then you know that, yeah, there is intelligence design here. But okay, this is a symbolism for it can be the two thieves, right? The two thieves. It can be the two eggs. The two thieves, right? This is Israel and the Gentiles. They are both unworthy, but one repented and was redeemed, but the other did not believe. Yeah, it can be the hemispheres of the brain. Yeah, the hemispheres of the brain. They react the same way in their tendencies. Yeah, so that middle part is really important. Okay, that middle part between these two fields is important from a perspective of power, right? So they plug in each other using these ports, and this is from another movie called Altered Carbon. It's a series, yeah, Altered Carbon, and it basically shows the future, you know, and people have this thing implanted in their necks, and they're called stacks, and basically their souls live in these stacks, and they can't die. You know, you can install a stack in another sleeve, or what we call a body. They can make clones and this and that. You know, just basically end of the world type stuff. Okay, but there's consistency in the programming or pre-programming of the technology they will deploy. So it will be definitely a brain implant. Okay, now for the sake of not being obvious, they might change the location because of the fear that has been built up. You know, Elon Musk is in on it. So this is the stack. So a human soul is inside there. So they take this and they implant it in some synthetic body, and then boom, the person comes back to life. Talk about the inability to die and wanting to die and not being able. Yeah, because if you try to poke into your spinal cord, you'll paralyze yourself. You won't even be able to kill yourself. So let's finish up. Again, this is not the milk, but rather the meat. And if Psalms 19:1 is true, then we must be wrong. I mean, the space believers. Yeah, the heaven declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork, what he did, what he built. Okay, now I don't know if you can call it handiwork while it's invisible, but that's up for discussion. But the choice, the choice of words is important, because it's a firm thing above us, our heads. This blue stuff that we see consistently. Okay, if we are living in space and spinning, we will not be able to see this thing. We will not be able to see the same stars every freaking time, but we have been seeing the same stars, which we call quote unquote constellations. We should have been left them a long time ago and moved to some other new type of stars and constellations. But the same constellation every year, every time, like clockwork. They come, they go, they come, they go, they come, they go, and still we are under that delusion. Well, I have woken up from that delusion. I see things clearly. I see the devil. I see his lies and how far he's willing to go. I see how he's unafraid. Yeah, I know. When somebody comes to you and say like, yo, the earth is not a ball spinning in space, you'll be flabbergasted. You'll be shocked. You even be tempted to make a joke about it. But when you realize that, yo, it's very real and what we have been fed is a lie, then it gets pretty serious pretty quick. Yeah. So there are those people in Babylon out there trying to say that, yeah, I've already said this, yeah? Get out in the midst of her, right? That's the recommendation from the scripture. So as you cannot be part of our punishment, plain and simple, get out of her. Okay? And it's even made clear that you need to escape, you and your children and your belongings. You need to get out. Right? You need to get out. But nah, people are not listening, and they're calling for self-sufficiency. Is there anything such thing as self-sufficiency in a sense they imply? Not as a society, but just as a person. You know, a person somewhere in the middle of nowhere claiming to be self-sufficient. This is the moral decline of society that we are seeing, you know. Well, in order to be self-sufficient, you need a lot of things. And I don't know nobody that can make everything. Right? How long are you going to be self-sufficient? For how long? You know, there are these people who call themselves doomsday preppers. You know, they say, I'm prepared and I have supplies for 3 months and I'm going to live out anything that happens, maybe a fallout or whatever. I'm going to wait it out in this here bunker. Like, how do you plan for things that are so unpredictable as human behavior? So you're telling me that even the others even going fast to say, yo, I am armed. I have a lot of bullets. Let me give you a scenario. Okay? Let me give you a scenario. So you have more bullets than food. Right? That's the reality of the West and the East. More bullets than food. So you're telling me you've dug yourself in your bunker and you have people who are hungry, like really hungry. 6 people. They have guns. They might have killed somebody to get those guns. They might have, I don't know, whatever the means they use to acquire those guns, they have them. And they are extremely hungry. I'm talking about really hungry. You think you're going to survive them? You have 2 different motivations. And trust me, a hungry person is an animal. Literally. People turn into savages real quick. Read the scriptures. People have even turned into eating their own children. It's going to get that bad. Maybe these preachers are not telling you how bad it's gonna get. It's gonna. Do you think you are prepared for that? Do you think you have a farm that can prepare you for a situation where it's so bad that people start eating each other for sustenance? Please. Please. Okay? Self-sufficiency is not possible in the wake of this capitalism movement. Capitalists survive on crisis. They survive on people buying and selling. If there is no that transaction, the whole thing comes to a stop. That's what happened during the lockdown. Right? That's what happened. They slow down some aspects of crucial, and they did it on purpose. It was their plan. Okay, it was their plan. They've been saying about it, they've been talking about it for years and years before it even happened. They had the disease, the name, and everything. Yeah, there's a movie out there called Contagious. It has everything, literally everything that they have done, and it was made prior. And they might come out here and say, it was based on a probability, or because of the, I don't know, some UN nonsense. This was the most likely to turn into a pandemic. They have those algorithms out there, right? And we should learn to question them. Like, okay, so you're saying the next pandemic might probably be Ebola or influenza. How do you figure that? Then begin the conversation from there. Simple as that. Right? So, without government and leadership, it's easy to do things and have things these days, because these people who are saying they are going to be self-sufficient, they are basically plucking a fruit from a tree and going far away in the hopes that the seed within that fruit will somehow surely yield another tree. Well, you can't have such guarantees. You can't. It's just how the world works. The same as a person, if you are the only person on earth, your survival is like, will go to zero. Your survival, your will to live will decrease. Okay? Even pride and ego feeds on people. Okay? You can't have pride while you are alone. You can't have ego while you are the only person on earth. You can't be an educated person. It's all a matter of, you get it, right? I have a master's. Okay. But there's nobody on earth here to fall victim to whatever situation that is. Right? So, leadership is important. A mechanism is important. And people quitting, saying that, because these people are unreliable, which sometimes the governments are, they are traitors, they are liars. It's just the reality. Okay? But you moving to the forest is not gonna help anybody, yourself, nor anybody else. It's just your pride taking you there, thinking that you can make it. Okay, this is capitalism. There's nothing that lasts. Maybe vehicles last for 10 years, But okay, you have a solar generator, you have a battery cell. Do you know batteries literally die? They get suffocated slowly. They have their lifespan. So what? After society has collapsed, are you going to find a replacement for that battery in your self-sufficient space and whatever? You can't fight Armageddon. can't fight it. You can't write it out. Okay, the same as these demons cannot change, yeah, the whole narrative on the apocalypse and what's going to happen to Babylon. What they can do is they can lie and keep you believing the lie that's gonna be fine. It's war. General Easy signing out. Love you. Bye.